Hello and welcome to Jacob YT. I actually have made videos in the past, but I privated those because I wasn't doing Kerbal before this, so I decided to do this now, or at least for this video. And what I'm making is, if you haven't watched Star Trek, this is Zephyr Cochrane's, this is the first ship ever to go to warp, which doesn't make sense if you haven't watched it, and we can actually take a lot from these pictures, what parts to use, and judging by this picture, it is I think I know what fuel tank this would be. It's pretty close to this, and I am absolutely positive that that is a liquid fuel engine, judging by the plume. Now, I am heavily modding this, so if we go to this picture over here, this is most likely not going to be the cockpit, but it might still be. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do on that. And there's a fairing over this, then the fairing deploys. It's a four-way clamshell fairing, then these fold out. So basically this gets you to space, then this puts you in orbit. And that's really all that has to do. Then I'm going to be using a Kraken drive with docking ports to simulate the warp drive. And yeah, that's about it on the design. Yeah, and I know what flag to use, and I can pretty much get the entire design from this, and except for the fact I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, what kind of engine to use here. It might be a Vector. I think a Vector would fit there, and what fuel tank, or like how I would do that. So jump to that time lapse. So this is the Star Trek 1. I ended up using, instead of a docking port Kraken drive, I ended up just using an electric drive. You'll see that when I launch it. And so this is the right flag, and this, I believe, judging by the plume, it was a liquid fuel engine, and by the texture on the tank. So I ended up using this, and I am using tweak scale heavily, and I don't think you would be able to build this without mods, because the cargo bay, that's tweak scale. So I suggest a few mods I do suggest getting to build this if you want to build this. Tweak scale, I do have simple repaint, I believe that's it. Simple repaint and tweak scale are the main mods. This comes in a mod, but you don't need to use this because there is another another pod that would work perfectly for that, but you have less crew capacity. So that is it. Let's launch it. Okay, so we're actually going to the moon with this thing. I think I might have said that, I'm not sure. But we're just going to go to our apoapsis, give ourselves, well, the engine wasn't quite enough, so we're going to use our warp, which I think might have, come to think of it, might have actually been what they did in the movie, so unintentionally accurate. So let's just burn, or whatever you would call this. Let's warp. And there is our orbit. Oh, there we go. Here we go. That is Zephyrin Cochrane's first ever warp-capable vessel. We're going to fly it out to the moon just to kind of test it out a bit. So let's do that. As you can tell, it's very powerful. It gets that pretty quickly, so we can just hopefully keeping this orbit. Oh wait, it's not gonna. Oh, it's been doing a weird thing. I tested out earlier, and it did this exact same thing where it doesn't show it in the actual orbit I'm in. So we have to skip around in orbit. So let's see. There we are. Circularize around the moon. Full power. There we are. Just flying around in space. So, that's it for this video. Bye.